The 2022 fall season is upon us. It is media day. There's a lot of excitement in the air with all of our fall sports teams. Today we're going to meet our coaches, we're going to meet some players, and we're going to get an inside look of what to be is expected here for the Piqua Indians in all of our fall sports. Remember, the Indian Nation station on our YouTube channel and our Spectrum Channel 5. You can catch the Indians on that. They do a great job of making sure you can get an action shot here if you can't get to the stadium. Also, keep in mind, you can get all of our schedules on the Piqua Indians Athletic website. You can go to the Piqua City Schools website and click athletics. So come along with me on this journey and see today what you have to looking forward to store for this year's fall teams. With us now is our head girls golf coach and Maggie Bergman. Maggie, congratulations for being named the coach.
Thank you very much.
You're the JV coach last year. Get promoted as Tyler moves to Florida.
Yep.
We wish him certainly all the best. But Maggie, we're excited to have you in the slot as head coach. How's that been so far since you've been in the driver's seat?
It's been really fun is the first thing I would call it is fun, just because the girls are great. We have a lot of awesome girls out this season. We've got a lot of big personalities, which makes it really fun. I've really enjoyed getting to set up practices and try out new drills. I've been doing a lot of research online, talking to a lot of other coaches around the league. So it's just been fun to test new things out and make it a learning process for me as well.
Golf is a little different than some of the other sports in that, you know, most sports have 2-3 weeks before their first game in scrimmages. Yep. Golf, you have first day of practice and you have 2 days and then bam, you're off and running.
Yep, for sure.
How has that transition been for those kids? Particularly, you got a lot of freshmen. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit, but how was that transition for you as getting them right off the tee box pretty quickly right after practice?
So I think the key to our success so far has been that my girls got out over the summer, which we had a meeting right at the end of the school year last year, and we told them about how quickly the season comes around. So we started a group chat the first summer session that we had, and the girls have really been communicating through that. They've gotten out together to play, and I think they're seeing it's kind of fun to go out when it's not just practice time, and it's a little bit more the ball's in their court kind of to get the season rolling.
Yeah. Well, Maggie, we are very fortunate we get to play at Echo, and we get a good course for our kids to play. Mm-hmm. But you talked about a lot of kids, and we have a lot of kids.
Yes.
We have talk about how many teams. You know, we got a varsity and a JV, but talk a little bit about those two groups, how many kids we have, and what you see in as far as your expectations for the program this year.
So we have 2 full teams. We have 6 on varsity and we have 7 on JV this year. That's kind of crazy. It's actually kind of hard to find JV matches. We're really lucky to have 2 full groups this year. I have a lot of high expectations. We have 2 great seniors this year that have really stepped into leadership roles, and they've really started to help the new girls learn new rules, get out on the course and feel more confident in themselves. So it's been great to have such an overabundance of girls this year.
Well, one last question before we bring in our seniors. For you, you've seen girls golf at different levels, JV and varsity. What has been the biggest transition for you as the coach?
I would say that a lot of JV golf is learning to play ready golf. So making sure you're bringing your cart with you, getting confident on the golf course, figuring out which club to pick up. Honestly, not being so nervous on the tee box. But varsity is exciting because you get to really start to strategize with the girls and do a lot of higher level things that are kind of exciting.
Coach, we wish you luck this year as we get ready to roll into what will be your first varsity season, and I have no doubt it's going to be a year of adventure.
Yes, for sure. Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Thanks.
We'll be back. We're going to bring our seniors in, and they're going to talk to you a little bit about the season, what it's going to look like for them, and what it's like to have a new coach. We'll see you right now. With us now are our senior golfers. I'm going to go ahead and let them introduce themselves.
My name is Ivy Lee. My name is Carson Mextroth.
Carson, I'm going to let you start us off here. I know you're excited about this first question. You've been probably thinking about it all day. Golf, what are some of the expectations and that you have for this year and goals that you have for not just yourself but your team?
So expectations that I have for our team as a whole is definitely to win some more matches. We've struggled in the past couple years, but I feel like this year, if we really buckle down and focus, this could definitely be our year.
Okay, yeah. How about yourself individually?
Myself individually, I would like to be able to shoot under 46, which is just 10 over par, because that's my lowest, and I would like to be able to continue to get lower scores.
Okay, thanks, Carson. Ivy, What's expectations for the team?
For the team, I think we have a lot of talent this year. I think we can definitely win a lot more matches than in the past years. We got a couple kids shooting below 40 or below 50 in the 40s, and I think it's looking really good.
And individually, before you go on with your stuff, you've already had a great start to your year with a career low already for 18 holes. So what's some of the things that you're hoping to do this year?
I'm really hoping to get as close to 40 as I possibly can.
Okay. Yeah, well, I have no doubt that that'll happen, and I wish you luck in those goals, ladies.
Thank you.
Talk to me about some of the matches you look forward to this year.
I'm looking forward to senior night, most definitely, because it's been a tradition for everyone to PR that night. So I'm hoping that stays true.
I am definitely also looking forward to senior night, just because every year that I've played, I've also shot my lowest, even though I wasn't a senior, so I'm hoping to get a decent low on senior night. Well,
I have no doubt you guys will, again, have a great year, and we wish you well. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about other activities that we are involved with. And the two of you are in one other group together. Let's talk a little bit about what that is.
So we're in show choir together, and we have both been in it for 3 years, and our first year we didn't get a season, but last year we ended up getting 3 grand champions and 2 second places, and so it was just a fantastic season. Well,
Watching you guys last year, because I had a child in there, and it was fun to watch you guys. You guys bring a lot of energy, but it's also, I bring that up because we have athletes, and Mr. Westfall and I talk about this a lot. We have athletes that can do both. You can do show choir, you can do golf, you can do those other things, and there's no reason that you can't. You can get practice, and you can make both of those events work. Ivy, I want to ask you real quick, let's talk about show choir, because a lot of people don't know this. Unless you've been to one, they get competitive.
They do. They really do.
Yeah, you wouldn't think, that does, but it's very electric. So what are some of the things that you see a parallel between athletics and show choir?
So definitely like the warm-up process, I would say. Like as a team, you're warming up. Like I used to play basketball back in the day, and like it was a very big deal to like stay focused and like really prepare for what you're getting ready to go out and do. And that's the same deal in the warm-up room before we go on stage. We're so zoned in and we're so ready to go out and win the competition.
We're going back to Beaver Creek. Make sure.
Oh yeah.
If you've been to Beaver Creek, you'll know what we're talking about. Hey, real quick, I've asked a lot of our seniors this, and I'm going to ask you guys. All right, what's your favorite Binge show that you like to watch on your own?
How I Met Your Mother. I answered the same
Whoa, that's another one we've had. Okay.
Same answer earlier.
Definitely has to be that 70s show. It's my go-to every time.
You just never know what these youngins think of anymore. Ladies, good luck this year. Good luck with golf, and certainly good luck with show choir as well.
Thank you.
We'll be back. We're going to talk boys golf when we return. With us now is our head boys varsity golf coach, Andy Johnson, and we were just talking season number 7 for you. That's hard to believe.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Well, speaking of fun, how's the fun been so far? We were just talking to Coach Bergman. Golf is just a little different. It's not like some of your other sports where you get 2 weeks, 3 weeks before your first game. You tee it off, and then bam, you're right into it.
Yeah, we hit the ground running, but it's not as intense as some other sports, so there's less stress involved, but we've got a good group. They play really well together. They have fun together. That's the big thing, and when you're having fun playing golf, it makes everything better.
Andy, you talk about less intense, but golf's got a different level of intensity to it. The pressure that you hear isn't necessarily from the crowd screaming and cheering and yelling, but it's the pressure that a lot of times you put on yourself, or knowing that, hey, I've got to get a certain score this particular hole. Maybe it's the last hole for our team to pull that win out. It's got a different level of pressure, and you've got a group of guys that really can respond to that.
Yeah. The toughest course for us is the 6 inches between our ears, and so at times you can struggle with that, but the guys are learning how to deal with that and realizing that one bad hole is not going to doom the entire round unless you let it.
Yeah.
So they've been learning the mental aspect of the game. We've got some guys that have some experience, and they've worked with those guys to get them better on the mental side, and they are getting better.
Yeah. I think for us, and I watch us and our scores, we generally are a team that gets better as the year goes along. But we've got some guys that can help us early. If again, the mental piece of it coming. Probably one of our top golfers is an underclassman this year, and Richard Price. Talk a little bit about him. His experience in previous varsity matches. Now as he's coming into junior, I'm starting to see some leadership from him.
Absolutely, and he's been the top guy talking about the mental aspect of the game, trying to help the guys out. He's played more golf than pretty much everybody. He goes to Michigan every summer and plays constantly and is around golf every single day. He came to the golf practices when he was in junior high and kind of watched to see how things worked and went to a couple matches. So he understands the layout, he understands the courses, and he's done a great job sharing his knowledge with the rest of the team.
Coach, a couple of things as far as expectations of this year's team. What are some of the things that you see on the horizons for the Indians on the golf course this year?
I think, like you said, we continue to get better as the season goes on. Got off to a rough start this year, but we can definitely do better from there. We know we're better, and the guys realize the talent that we have and the potential that we have. We know that Piqua, or we know that Tip and Troy and Butler are going to be at the top, but we know that if we play well, we can compete with those guys, and that's our goal.
Andy, one last thing before we head out. This having Echo is a good place for us. It's obviously gives us a little bit of advantage, we feel, because it's a home course for us, and not every school has a home course like this. So it's nice for us to have that opportunity. For you, how do you feel that's an advantage for our kids, and how do they use that, take advantage of that?
I think because Echo has been so good to us in the past, the kids are comfortable coming out here to play, or at least coming out here to practice. So it's been the positive experiences we've had at Echo going back decades, and that's kind of been passed on for every class that's come through to play golf at Piqua. And they come out here, they use the facilities, and like you said, it gives them a good home field advantage. They know the course, they know the layout, and gives them what they hope will give them a win.
Well, Andy, we're lucky in Piqua to have a lot of things, and this golf course is one of them. It's been a good gnomon for us, and hopefully we can continue that relationship as we move forward. Andy, good luck this year.
Thanks.
All right. We're going to come back. We're going to talk to one of our guy golfers again, get an idea of what it's like to be a golfer and really what the schedule looks like for them and some of the matches that they're looking forward to participating in. Stay right there. We are now with our boys golfers. I'm going to have them introduce themselves, the names, and the classes that they're in.
I'm Drew Hinkle. I'm a class of 2023.
Richard Price, going in junior year.
Okay, Richard, I'm going to let you answer the first question. Golf's a little different from the other sports. We've talked about that. You don't have 2 weeks of practicing and then getting into your matches. You have a couple of days of practice and then you're on it because you got to be playing a lot of golf.
Yeah.
This summer you played a lot of golf in Michigan.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about that experience for you and how that prepared you for the season.
Well, in Michigan, the course is much more difficult than typical around here. So then I feel like it prepares me, and I'm ready for some of the easier, less challenging courses.
Good. Drew, I'm going to pass it on to you. I would be remiss if I didn't bring this up. And you're going to get, this is Indian Nation's getting it firsthand. I ended up getting a phone call today from Warner Brothers. They had seen your commercial and your acting skills, and they would like to set up an NIL contract. Can you talk a little bit about your acting skills?
Well,
tell the nation where you've been on your acting the last couple of days.
I'm kind of new to the acting, but I was over at Little Caesars and Wings and Rings.
Commercials for Indian Nation Station.
Yeah.
So actually, I don't know how you'd have time for golf with all the acting opportunities you've had.
It's a busy life. It's kind of hard.
Very good. Well played. Well, when you do have time for golf, what's your senior year? I know this is important for you. Talk about that experience for what you're looking forward to this year.
I'm just looking to have fun, do my best, not really stress over bad rounds because I know next day I can turn around and shoot better. Just don't dwell on the bad stuff.
Yeah, Coach talked about that. He says sometimes the hardest course is the 6 inches in between your 2 ears.
Yeah.
And you have a bad shot, and sometimes that can really put you down for the day. I know today was not necessarily a day that we had hoped for, but we know that we're going to be back again next week and the weeks ahead. How do you overcome those tough days like today and come back with a good attitude on Monday, ready to swing and get after it?
You just look at good shots or good moments you had, build off of what you can, and then use that for whatever next match you have, and know you can hit those shots or vice versa.
Yeah, that's leadership. Yeah. Next question. I'm going to ask you guys what matches in particular are you? No, go ahead, Drew. I'm going to let you answer first. What matches in particular are you looking forward to this year?
Definitely Troy and Tip City. I feel like we can beat them this year. Definitely.
Good.
So,
well, we wish you luck on that one. All right,
you.
Richard. What's some of yours that you're looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to conference MVL tournament, Reed, which is sectionals, but really looking forward to our tri-match with Greenville and Troy at Locust Hills, which is our league course.
You really get on some good courses.
Yes.
You mentioned a couple of those courses. I'm sure those are probably some of your favorites to play on in terms of challenge.
Yep.
But before we bow out, I've asked a lot of seniors. I'm going to ask you, what is some of the binge watching shows, your favorite binge watching show?
I don't know. I do like sitting down on weekend, Saturday, Sunday, watching the golf tournament. But
I've not heard that one yet.
that's probably my number one. Just
That's your good.
sit down, relax.
Okay. Favorite binge show? Anything?
Probably recently it's probably been Stranger Things.
Well, if you don't see Drew on the golf course, you'll see him somewhere on TV doing commercials. Hey, we wish you guys luck. Have a good year this year, and all the best to you guys.
Thank you.
Hey, stay right there. We're going to talk a little bit more about fall Piqua athletics when we return. With us right now is Coach Kelsey Smith, the head varsity girls soccer coach, and media day, fall day, we have all this newness and excitement of the season. What can the Indian Nation expect from girls soccer this year?
Well, we have quite a few freshmen coming in this year. So we have almost a brand new JV team, and then we have a few girls that are actually going to be on varsity, and they're bringing a lot of energy, a lot of intensity. We're hoping to surprise a few teams in the conference this year and maybe have story of the underdog this season.
Well, I think our scrimmage, our preseason shows that we've had some moments that we have some flashes that we can maybe be pretty good. We're young, as you had mentioned, youthful, but we also have some experience too. Let's talk a little bit about some of our seniors and some of our returners.
Yeah, we have Audrey Evans that's returning in the center mid. We have Rachel Cavender returning in defense. She's young still, but we have our returning keeper who played well for us last year, Devea Cooper. And then again, another young one, but returner is Cameron Micah Jaleski in the center mid for us. Yeah,
so we really do have a nice blend of some older, yet younger kids that I think that can give some energy to our soccer team on the field. Kelsey, you were talking a little bit before we went on the air about the scrimmage the other day.
Yeah.
You had mentioned that our freshmen really give some good energy to our team, and everybody feeds off that. I want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we have 3 freshmen that are going to see a lot of varsity time for us this season, and they really bring up the intensity level, and when they're on the field, our upperclassmen and those returning match that energy, and it's a beautiful thing to see.
Kelsey, Coach Smith, you're now in your 3rd year.
Yep.
And program-wise, are we moving it the way you want where you want it to be?
Yes. It's been a slow process, but I think we're getting there.
Yeah, commitment is a big part of it. Getting kids in the off season, and you're starting to see more participation in that, and that's certainly gonna help.
Yeah.
Outlook for the year, as far as any particular goals that you have for the season. Not saying wins, but goals-wise, what's your outlook for the season for that?
So since we are so young, one of our goals that's not win-oriented would be that we can mesh as a team and kind of get a flow going, because we are young. We have some brand new starters this season also, but then in terms of wins, we want to improve our record from last year. That's our main winning goal.
Coach, we wish you guys luck. I know we have an optimistic look on this year, and as you said, some youthful and some kids that are coming back that should add some zing and zag
Yep.
to the Indians.
Absolutely.
We welcome everybody to come down to Wirt Stadium this year and watch our Piqua Indians. Our schedule is online at piquacityschools.org. You can also catch some of the games on the Indian Nation station. We are grateful that we have great people behind the camera that make this happen. So again, Indian Nation station, Piqua Indians soccer. We wish you well.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be back. We're going to talk to some of our senior and captain players so you can get an idea a little bit about what you can expect from their standpoint. See you shortly. With us now are the captains of the girls soccer team. I'm going to have them introduce themselves, their year, their class, and the positions that they play.
Hi, I'm Tori Foster. I'm a senior and I play right back.
I'm Emma Kidder. I'm a junior and I play right wing.
Emma, I'm going to let you hold it for now. Emma, we're going into, there's a lot of optimism today. There's a lot of excitement in the air. The season's getting ready to kick off. Actually, tomorrow night at Bell Fountain, we've got our scrimmages behind us. What's your take so far on what the Indians look like on the field?
I think we have a good chance this year. I feel like we're building our chemistry a lot this year. And I feel like we can definitely take in some wins.
Good. Tori, tomorrow night's your opener at Bell Fountain. How exciting is it for you to get your senior year kicked off, literally, on the road in what will be obviously an exciting time, but the optimism for you as a senior has got to be what, because you've been putting a lot of work in the off season.
I'm very excited. Like Emma said, our team chemistry is definitely growing each and every day, and I really do think we have a good chance this year. So good. I'm excited.
Good. Real quick, kids in the past have always liked to talk about their favorite game they like to play in. I'm going to ask you guys, what's the game that you look forward to playing in the most? They're all important, I know, but
normally probably Troy. Or Sydney, they're around us, they're closest. But for me, it's probably going to be senior night this year.
Senior night?
Yep.
It's going to be a big one.
Yes.
All right, okay. Emma, game you look forward to the most?
I'm going to say Springfield, just because I feel like it gets really exciting when we're at that game. There's a lot going on at a time.
Oh, the Cats. Dell, you heard that. The Cats. All right. Now, real quick, would like to ask you one more question. All right. As it relates to the team, okay, what do you think will be the surprise? This is going to be a tough question, but it'll be an easy one if you really know it and think about it. What's going to be the surprise that people aren't going to expect from this team this year?
I'd say our freshmen this year. We have a lot of incoming freshmen that are really good, and I think we're going to have some lead scorers with them.
Oh, good. Tori, I'm going to ask you.
Yeah, like Emma said, our freshmen this year are really good, and if they can get in the groove with like the other players, especially like Audrey, then we'll be good this year. And our defense is strong this year as well. Interesting.
Coach brought that up in her conversation. I think the freshman's going to spur some energy, and we certainly are looking forward to seeing you guys play here at Wirtz. And again, don't forget, you're going to be able to see them here on the Indian Nation station. You can catch them here on Channel 5 and also on the YouTube channel for Indian Nation station. Girls, good luck this year. Go get them.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be back. We're going to talk boys soccer when we get back. Welcome now our head boys soccer coach, Tom Wiseman. Coach, welcome back to yet what is another media day. It's your third one, third season, ready to kick off actually tomorrow night at Bell Fountain. Last year, Coach, if we can talk frank, last year was a season changer for us. We had turned the corner in a couple ways, one of which you and I have had these conversations a lot. We went in every game thinking we had a chance. Where the year before was we really have to play well to put ourselves in a position to win. Last year, our kids really believed that every game they went into, and that Troy game I felt at the end really spoke to that. Where the game ended up being a tie. First time we had actually tied them in years, and not lost. So I know it ties, some say it's like kissing your sister, you get nothing out of it, but for us it really was a confidence booster. Coming into the 2022 season, a lot of optimism for boys soccer.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's all about continuous improvement. I mean, we've told the boys that from the get-go that we just want to get better and better every year. Now, if that means statistically better, we're not talking about just the record, right? It's overall statistics, it's team camaraderie, it's building the program, and with the crew we got this year, I think we can continue to see that upward trend.
You know, you talk about wins, and I know everyone likes to measure it by wins, and if you look at our season last year, our win total was certainly, it increased, but again, the attitude and the culture within the program has been, hey, we aren't here just to play. We're here to compete and win.
Well, we actively look for guys who are soccer players, not just guys who want to play soccer.
Yeah.
You know, and we try to build the program in other ways. I mean, for example, we brought that back to the alumni game this year, which was a great success.
Yeah.
The junior high program is off and running, so we're building that roster for both the boys and the girls, and you know, just other things that we're trying to add to the program to get eyes on the program, because more eyes on the program means more success for the program long term.
Well, and so somebody would hear that and they would see, hey, this is the first year we're not going to have a boys JV team. Couple reasons for that. We had a large graduating class last year, and the other part of it is what you're talking about. You're building a culture of, hey, the expectation is we expect you to put time in the off season, and there are just some that just, and that's okay. They're just that's not for them.
Right.
But on the back end of it, we're building a junior high program. So when they come into the high school, not only are we having participation numbers, but we're having kids that understand the game of soccer and your expectations of what you want from the program.
Well, and I also think that the crew we've got, well, they're only 16, but they're 16 really good players who really want to be there. And the freshman class we have this year is the most athletic and talented we've had since I got here. Nothing against the former freshman classes, because they've come along too. But I guess they're the freshman class this year is more varsity ready. And
yeah.
so we're not. I had a discussion with them just the other day about it's time to grow up right now. So,
well, you talk about players, and we really don't usually get into specifically mentioning players, but I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Nathan Beaker.
Sure.
3-year captain, a guy who's been a big part of the program's success the last couple of years. Leadership is the one thing I see from him.
Right.
Talk a little bit about him as a leader, and then what you expect from him to help with our team on and off the field.
Everybody looks to Nathan. You know, if you watch pattern of play a lot, the ball goes to Nathan. You know, he leads the team out on the field, and I think the first couple years he was more of a reluctant leader. He was a leader because he was a good player. Now he's become really a servant leader, good young man.
Yeah, he's embraced it.
He's embraced it. But the nice thing this year for him is that now we have more options, meaning I think the last couple years we've been pretty two-dimensional with him and Des Warner up top. And again, other guys did score, but I think that now we've got so many more options to go to that can score and can actually play so many different positions. We're just a lot more flexible, and that's going to help Nathan have a good senior year.
One more thing before we wrap it up. Your expectations for this year. Let's not talk about wins and losses, because you had said, you know, that's just it's part of it, but not the part. But what are some of the things that your goals-wise for this 22 season?
Well, the defense we've got in play now, hopefully we can continue to get the goals against down. That's number one. Number two, repeat as the Quest Cup champions, because you know that's a big deal, and I think these guys are very motivated to do that. And we've not had a playoff win in I don't know how long. So that's another thing, is positioning ourselves with a record that is respectable enough to get a good seed, that we can either get a home game for the first round or not have to face an opponent that is a tall task. So we want to win that first playoff game in a long time.
So you bring up the Quest Cup, which I think is important to mention, and it's been a while since our community has probably heard it. The first trophy that soccer has won in the history of the program.
Right.
So that goes to show you growth that we had last year by winning that tournament up in Bell Fountain, or excuse me, at Ben Logan. We go to Bell Fountain tomorrow night. We're back at Ben Logan the following week to defend that championship. It gives us something to play for, something to look forward to as well. But again, our boys have a chance to do that realistically.
They do. We as coaches are anticipating the best, but expecting the worst, I guess. You know, it's hard to repeat. And so if we come out of there, I think, with having played well, I think that's good enough. We obviously are hungry to repeat so we can lift the trophy again. But it's a difficult task, and we'll see if they're up to it.
Well, I know this team's up to having an optimistic year and on the field, and you've got some good leaders off the field. They are a funny group. I know that. They are, and I mean that in the most.
They get along.
Oh, yeah. They have good team chemistry.
Absolutely.
You stand around for just a couple minutes, you can kind of figure that out. Well, we're going to talk to our captains when we get back. Coach, we wish you certainly all the best this year. And again, you can catch everybody here on the Indian Nation station. Coach, good luck.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be back. We're going to talk to our captains when we return. Here we are with our boys soccer captains. They are going to introduce themselves, the class that they're in, and the position they play.
Hi, I'm Landon Lawson, class of 23, and I play defense.
I'm Logan Thompson, class of 24, I play defense.
I'm Nathan Beaker, class of 23, and I play centerman.
Nathan, last year, it's hard to believe, it just seemed like a few weeks ago, but we were standing here having this conversation about the 21 season, the 22 season. Your senior year is ready to kick off actually tomorrow night at Bell Fountain. You have been a captain, this is your third year. Where do you see this year that you've seen the progression? Last year was a good year for the Indians. We really kind of turned the corner in a lot of ways. What do you see this year for our boys soccer program?
Well, I think as a 3-year captain, I've been taking a leadership position into.
Take it serious.
Yeah, I take it serious, and I've really tried to help the team this year. Every practice we've been at it. We've been there every morning. Every person is committed to the program, and we're low on numbers. We're low on numbers this year, but I think everyone has got really good talent, and that shouldn't be a problem.
Logan, give us a little bit about your perspective, what you expect this year.
I expect a playoff win and to beat Troy. That's about it.
All right. That's high expectations.
Win every game. That's all.
Okay. Landon, you're a senior?
Yep.
You've also been a starter for several years now. You're going into what has a lot of high expectations. What are some of the expectations you have of this team this year?
Just to win. Win as many games as we can.
One of the things that I noticed last year, you talked about winning and turning the corner. There were games last year, we talked about the Troy game, Logan, you mentioned that one. We went in there and there was the expectation of not, hey, maybe if we play well, maybe we have a chance to win. Last year it was, hey, we got a really good chance to win. And I think that's probably the time, what I say the turn of the mentality. But there's a game that we all like to play in, or maybe it's 2 games. Is there a particular game that you look forward to playing in, Landon?
Troy and Tip.
Troy and Tip.
Yep.
Why those guys?
I hate Troy. It's always fun watching Tip play.
All right. Okay. All right. Logan, I'm going to pass it to you. You said Troy, but is there another game, or is that the game for you?
It's the game, but every game's a fun game, so I'm looking forward to all of them.
All right. Beak man?
Yeah, I said it last year. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to go into every game with the same mentality. It doesn't matter who the opponent is, so looking to get a W out of every game.
You're so politically correct. Well done.
Thanks.
We have one more thing I'd like to talk about as we go through. I want to talk about a surprise. What are some of the surprises that you think the Piqua community and the Indian Nation is going to see from Piqua boys soccer in the 2022 season?
Like I said, we got a lot of younger guys, but I don't think that's going to affect us much because all of them have really good talent, and I expect them to fill the position of the seniors that left, and I think we'll be all right.
Okay. Logan, surprise of the year that people might expect that may not, but they're going to see some things they didn't expect.
Just big improvements in the win column, I think.
All right. Landon, last but not least.
MVL champs.
MVL champs. I like it.
Yep.
And and they're not just saying that to say it. These guys really believe it. They've been putting the work in the off season. I know you guys have a great deal of expectations of going into the season with not just trying to be our best, but you expect to be at our best. We wish you guys all the luck. Remember, you guys can see them here on the Indian Nation station. You're going to want to check these guys out. They get after it, and we have seen them improve through the years, and we're gonna see another great year in 2022 season. So we'll be back. We're gonna head to volleyball next. See you at the gym. Welcome now. We are back as promised in the gymnasium. We are actually not in the high school gymnasium today because we have some renovations going on in there. This has actually been the home for Piqua volleyball this summer. With us is Coach Huell's camp. Jen, you're getting ready to bump into your second season as head coach. A lot of optimism this year. We graduated a lot of seniors, but there's a lot of optimism this year with this year's group. Talk a little bit about this year's team.
You're right, we did graduate a lot of seniors last year, but we really do have a great group of girls. They love the game. They love to play with each other. They give a lot for our team. They have a great attitude, a great mindset going into the season. Yeah, it's going to be a great season.
Well, let's talk a little about why we're in here. We're in the gym at the junior high because we got some renovations going on. This has really been your home base this summer.
Yes.
You've seen a lot of improvement in this gym throughout the summer, even into our scrimmage schedule. Just that we finished our last scrimmage just the last week.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that and how much you have seen improvement, not just from the summer, but even into the preseason.
So we've thrown some new things at the girls this year, different defensive strategies. We've typically run a rotation defense, and we've been teaching them perimeter defense so we can adjust those in game situations. We're also running a lot of plays, which is great to see. They're nervous, but we've been using these scrimmages as a time to practice those, and they're doing it, and it's great to see. They're having fun.
You know, in volleyball, you talk about plays, and in volleyball, it's not like some other sports, maybe like basketball, where you draw it out. There is some of those, but you really have to have some synchronicity. You have to be in sync with one another.
Yeah.
And the ball has to move. That first, just a little volleyball 101, that ball comes in, that first set, or that first one that we get, that first bump, as we talk about, is really got to be on point for everything to get moving play. Can you talk a little bit about that?
So we want to be in system as much as possible. When we're out of system, that's when we're not running our plays. We're running to our pins to set the high balls on the outside. But when we're in system, that means we have a good pass, a three-point pass, and that's when we can run our plays. We have a great libero this year, Marissa. She cleans the floor. She protects our floor very well, and we're able to do that for out of serve receive and out of free ball transition as well.
Talk a little about our seniors this year.
Yeah.
We've got a nice group of seniors, and we've got some hard workers.
We sure do.
What can we expect this year? Talk a little about them.
So we have 4 seniors this year. Like I said, we have Marissa. Marissa has been a defensive specialist the past several years, and now she's stepped into some big shoes with Reagan Toops, but she's filling those shoes very well. So she plays our libero position. We have Olivia Anthony. She's our setter. We're running a 5-1 this year, and she's coming back from an injury. So she had an injury last year, but she came to all of our games. She was very much a part of our team last year. She's excited to be back, and again, learning a bunch of new things because we're running plays, running back stacks and X's and cross plays, and it's been fun, and she's taken it on, and she's excited for that role. We have Lily Hannan, who she is one of those athletes that I can put her anywhere. Last week in a scrimmage, we had during warm-ups, we had one of our outside hitters go down with an ankle sprain during warm-ups at the very beginning. I was like, well, changing up the lineup, Lily went in and did awesome. She just stepped right in and was our outside hitter. Lily can be a defensive specialist. She can step in as a setter if we need her, and she just plays well all around, and she loves the game, and she's got a great energy. And we have Jordan Atkins. She's our middle blocker and left back. She'll be playing left back this year. The girl can jump out of the gym, and she just has a great fun energy about her as well. And she puts up a pretty good block up there in the front row, so excited for all of that too. Yeah.
As we've talked about throughout the show here, remember you can catch the Piqua Indians, and the volleyball team is no different. You can catch them on the Indian Nation station. You'll catch them also on the YouTube channel. Coach, when people tune in to watch the Indians, whether they come to the game in the gymnasium or if they're going to watch it on the Indian Nation station, what can they expect to see from the Coach Hulse Camp Piqua Indians 2022 season?
I think you'll see the girls loving the game that they're playing and giving everything they have out on that court. They just have such a great approach to the game. Where they are mentally and emotionally, it's just really neat to see. They gel really well. That's a goal that they want to have and do more of, but we're already seeing that they gel so well together. It's fun.
We have no doubt that they're going to have a good year, and Coach, it's good again as an alum and a teacher in the district. It's good to have you as your second year as our coach. Look forward to great things. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about those seniors that Coach Hulse Camp talked about, and we're going to find out a little bit about what they think about this 2022 season when we come back.
Thank you.
With us now is our volleyball seniors, and they are going to introduce their names and the positions that they play.
My name is Jordan Atkins, and I'm a middle hitter.
My name is Marissa Bragg, and I'm a libero.
I'm Olivia Anthony, I'm a setter.
My name is Lily Hannan, and I play back row.
Lily, I'm going to let you hold it for now. Lily, we're coming into you guys are seniors now. It's hard to believe. I remember you guys came in as freshmen, and now you're seniors. How is it to feel like you guys are some of our senior leaders? You're coming into a team where we have a lot of optimism. What's your expectations for the year, Lily?
I think this year I'm just really excited to see the growth and change in the program. I mean, we lost a lot of people graduated last year, so it's going to be a lot different, and a lot of good things are going to come.
Good, yeah. Olivia?
I'm just really excited for this season. I think that we all just need to hold each other to a higher standard this year and just push through.
Good.
I'm excited for this year. We have a lot of new incoming freshmen. I'm excited to see where they come this season, and hope we have a good season.
Good.
I'm excited for the season because I kind of watched everyone under me grow. So seeing them play on the same team that I am and watching them grow as a volleyball player is pretty awesome.
Yeah, you've got a nice mix. You've talked about some freshmen, Marissa, you mentioned them, but you've also got some underclassmen that played last year that I think there's some expectations of excitement and seeing what you guys are going to do. And I think, as we talked about, there's a lot of optimism in there, but I think you guys also have a belief that we're a good program.
Oh, yeah.
So the fun one is for me is the games, because everybody has their own idea of what their favorite game of or favorite match of the year is. So I want to go on down. What's your favorite match that you're looking forward to this year?
Sydney, 100%.
The Jackets.
It's always head to head. There's no we lose in 3 sets or we win in 3 sets. No, it's back and forth the entire time.
Yeah.
I would have to say Sydney too, because the energy on that game day is powerful. It's just something different.
Good stuff, yeah.
I would definitely say Sydney too. Every year it's just such a hype game.
This is going to sound repetitive, but I'm going to say Sydney.
The Jackets get the sweep!
It's just always such a fight, and we always can expect to go there and not get it handed to us or taken away. We know that we're going to have to go and put up a fight with them, and it's always just a fun game to play.
It's a rivalry, but it's a fun rivalry.
Yes.
And you guys can tell that game has always meant something to it. Our community gets into it. Our students come into it from both Sydney and from Piqua, and it is a fun one. So that will certainly be a fun night. There's a lot of other games I know and matches that are important, and Coach Hulse Camp would say they're all important. Our league, we anticipate that in our league we're going to be competitive again. You guys, real quick though, you guys have been at the junior high. We kind of talked about that in the onslaught of the show. It's probably kind of surreal to be back where you kind of started, but you're probably anxious to get back to the high school, right? Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, one more question. This is going to be a fun question.
Okay.
All right. You guys aren't going to know this one's coming. Fun question. Give me one of your favorite shows you like to binge watch.
Oh, it has to be Grey's Anatomy. I watch that show like crazy. I think I've restarted it at least 3 times.
It's a good one.
It's definitely
one of my favorites.
I really like Criminal Minds. I watch that a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Probably Outer Banks. Outer Banks.
The Office is my ride or die show.
Yeah.
That brings me so much comfort, and when they took it off Netflix, I cried. No, that was the end.
But it's on the Peacock.
It's on the Peacock. It is on the Peacock.
Girls, speaking of comfort, let's get comfortable in making sure that the Indians have a good year this year. We wish you as seniors all the best. And you can see them here on the Indian Nation station. You catch them on YouTube. And make sure you get your tickets to watch these because these guys are a bunch of fun. Ladies, good luck.
Thank you.
Hey, we're going to head out to cross country next. We are here with our girls and boys cross country teams and coaches, Seth Fashion and Ryan King. So what can we expect from the 22 girls and boys cross country teams this year?
We do have a really good team. They're a younger team than we've had the last few years. We did lose several seniors, like you mentioned, but they're young. They've been working hard. We've had a really good summer session, so we're pretty excited about the kids. And honestly, it's going to be a fun group of kids too. So it's going to be a good year.
Seth, one of the things that I've noticed about our program as we've gone through the last few years is you guys have really established a great culture here, and a culture that when people come to practice, they're ready to practice, but they also have a good time doing it, and they really have a good chemistry with one another.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this year's group has been the most dedicated all around, from kids showing up to summer conditioning or workouts, to just our fun activities that we do. Everybody seems to be involved. Everybody gets along. Everybody has a good time while still working really hard.
Yeah. Before COVID, night races were kind of you saw them every now and then, maybe Centerville, but now since COVID, we've seen a lot more of those out there. We are participating in a couple of those in addition to hosting our own. Talk a little bit about the nostalgia of that particular event, and then us being able to host what we think is one of the best outside night events for cross country.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been funny because we joked with other coaches that cross country's turning into a Saturday night sport instead of a Saturday morning sport.
Yeah.
But it's the kids like it. Honestly, we like it. I think the parents like it, other than staying up a little later. And we're excited. We changed our week this year, and so we're going to see a few new teams that we probably haven't seen in the past, but still have some of the same ones we've had. And we've added a little bit each year. I'm excited about our night meet. It's going to be a good time.
There's a lot of pomp and circumstance to it. So if you haven't had a chance to come out, it's a great night to watch cross country because there's a lot of energy. And it'll be September 10th this year here at Piqua High School. It'll be at the stadium. There'll be the 4 races, junior high, girls and boys, and then of course our high school will hit the main event. Talk about expectations this year. What were some of the expectations that you guys have?
Well, obviously last year we lost a really good group of seniors, but we've got high expectations with both the boys and girls groups. Like I said, they put in a ton of effort this summer. We've seen the girls improved vastly over the last year. We've got the boys group who now is in high school that won MVL in junior high 2 years in a row. So we're really looking forward to seeing what they can do.
Well, I know that great things will happen because under you guys have done a great job of one thing is our kids get better. They get better through the year, and what you guys did in the off season, obviously we're going to see great gains from that as well. So wish you guys all the best.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We're going to come back. We're going to talk to our senior girls, and they're going to talk a little about what their expectations are this year and maybe what some of the fun events that they look forward to for this coming season. We'll be right back. With us now are our seniors for cross country. Girls, you're going to go ahead and give us your name, and then we're going to talk a little bit about more specifically about some things you're looking forward to. So go ahead and give everyone your name first.
All right, my name is Ivy Lee. My name is Isabella Murray.
My name is Leanne Casey.
My name is Reagan Howard.
Reagan, I'm going to have you hold it for now. We're getting ready to get into what will be probably and most anticipated year for you guys. A, because it's your senior year, but B, you got some big races throughout the year that I know that you guys look forward to. Tell me what races that you really look forward to being a part of.
I really like the Bob Scholl course. It's really shady. It's in the woods. It's a really nice course.
Shady, no sun. You like
yes.
Okay. Yeah?
Oh God. Same here because it's mostly just like dirt path, kind of ends in the woods. So yeah.
Okay, good.
Mine is definitely our night race. I just like the whole vibe around it, and I like to paint our faces with the neon paint, and even just after the race, especially since it's our senior night, we get to look forward to that as well. So
I'll probably agree with Bella with saying the night race because I watched it last year and I thought it was like the energy was very, very good.
Yeah, if you've not been to a night race, and we talked a little bit with the coaches, there is a different energy, and it's got a what we call a big fight feel to cross country, and it's become no doubt one of the highlights. But I do think that the one thing about the Shoal Invitational is a true cross country course, and I know that's a favorite for many. Real quick, before we go, I want you to tell me some fun fact. All right, you ready? Your favorite show to binge watch. What's your favorite show to binge watch?
My favorite show to binge watch is How I Met Your Mother.
Oh yeah.
Mine is definitely Friends. I could probably just turn it on and watch it continuously, season through season. So
Joey.
Okay. Mine's Vampire Diaries. That one's a good one.
I'm going to say it's a tie between Friends and The Office.
Oh, we've had The Office today. Yeah, we had Office earlier. Yeah, good ones. Well, ladies, we wish you guys all the best. It's going to be a good year for you, and we look forward to seeing you guys succeed, and good luck.
Thank you.
We'll be back. We are going to hit tennis when we come back. Well, we are now at tennis, speaking to our first year varsity coach, new coach, Aaron Thomas. Aaron, welcome to Piqua and welcome to Media Day.
Thank you.
This is exciting times, I know, for you. Your background with tennis is pretty vast. So talk a little bit about where your tennis background comes from.
So I started playing when I was about 7, and then I played junior tennis all through childhood into high school, where I played at Lehman, and went to state. And then I got a scholarship to Illinois State University. It's in Normal, Illinois, and I played on the tennis team there. Yes, Redbirds.
Redbirds.
Yep, Redbirds.
Coach, talk a little bit about but you've also coached a little high school tennis as well.
I have coached boys tennis at Lehman, and I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed helping the boys and just getting to know them, and it was a really rewarding experience, and I look forward to doing it again.
And we're glad to have you here at Piqua, and I know our girls have really gotten better so far as we're in our short season so far. Talk a little bit about our team and what you've noticed from our group of girls, and maybe some of the expectations of this year.
We came into the year with losing most of our varsity, which, most of our seniors, which is always a difficult position to be in. However, the girls have really risen up. They're very coachable. The teams gelled very nicely, and so we have 2 new freshmen. We have 3 girls that have never played before, but they are learning and coming right along, so I'm excited about it.
We have, Aaron, a schedule that allows us to play everybody, obviously, in our league, but we've also got some good non-league matchups that will be good for our kids. One of them is tomorrow. We're going to Schroeder's to play in a tournament. Then it gives our kids a chance to see a lot of different teams.
Right.
Give us an idea of what our kids might be seeing tomorrow when they go to Schroeder's.
So we're probably going to end up facing at least one of our players, probably more than one. We'll end up facing Tip City, which is usually the leader in the league, and not only do we play them at Schroeder, we play them in a dual match, and they're in our league, so there's many times that we'll face them, but Tip City is usually one of the higher level schools that we'll be playing, and so we just set realistic expectations and hope the girls learn something from those matches and just do the best they can.
Well, we have one senior this year. Talk a little bit about her and what you've seen from her from a leader, and then what you expect that she'll be able to contribute this year to the team.
So Dia is our senior this year, and she has played on the team, I think, all 4 years, all 4 years. And Dia's like a nice, consistent, quiet presence on the team. So we appreciate that. and she looking forward to her playing for singles. I know it's a stretch from what she's done before, but last week she had a really good showing at our Wapakoneta tournament, so I'm pleased to have her.
One thing I've noticed about Dia through the years, and you talked about her playing all through, but she's continued to get better. But she's a good leader.
Yes.
That's got a good attitude.
Right.
She's not the loudest on the team.
No.
But she leads by action, and people do follow her lead.
Right.
And I have no doubt that she will add a good presence to us. And the tennis program has really become a solid program for Piqua, and kids not just are playing, but we're a competitive team. And I expect this year, as you said, we may have some learning curves, but we still expect to be competitive.
Yep, for sure.
Coach, we're glad to have you here at Piqua, and we look forward to a great year.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you.
We'll be back. We're going to speak to our senior when we return. With our lone tennis senior, I'm going to have her introduce herself for us.
My name's Dia Patel.
Dia, welcome. You're a senior. It's hard to believe you're a senior. I remember when you came in, you've really have grown through the sport. You're to a point now where obviously you're the only senior that we have, but you have seen this program enjoy some success. What are you looking forward to this particular year for you as a senior?
I don't really know. Just bonding with my team, mostly.
Yeah. You had an interesting summer. You and I had a conversation a week ago, and I know we can't get into all of it because of time, but tell us a little bit about what you did this summer, which I think a lot of our viewers would find interesting.
Going to India, it was just to meet my family and then just travel around, knowing what people are doing nowadays. So
tell us, what's the biggest difference between India culturally? Let's talk about food. Everybody likes food. What's the difference in food at India, say India, to food in the States?
It's much more spicier, for sure.
Yeah.
And then they have more vegetables and there's not really much meat.
So what do kids do for fun in India?
Play cricket.
Cricket?
Yeah.
Really? Don't find a lot of that going on here in the States. That's good. That's cricket. Hey, but the one thing you told me that was very much the same is the phones and the social media. The kids, it's no different there than it is here. Is that right? Same thing. Good stuff. Hey, talk a little bit about, real quick, your matches maybe that you're looking forward to playing this year.
I'm going to try to get 2 games on Tip City. I know I can't win, but that's my goal for that.
Well, I think one of the things that I feel that you bring to the team is, we talked about leadership and good attitude, but you've also understand about what it takes to be successful and to come to practice every day and every match ready to compete. Would you talk about that just a little bit? And from your coaches and what you've learned from that? Just coming to practice ready to go.
I don't know what to say.
All right, I'll ask you enough. We'll edit that one. Yep. I'll make it a little bit more specific. How about that?
Okay.
Give me one of your most fondest memories of tennis that you've had so far being at Piqua.
It's usually just talking with my team and then just having a good time after games and stuff, going to dinners, stuff like that.
True team player, no doubt about it. Dia, good luck. We wish you all the best, and we know it's going to be a good year for you and the Indians.
Thank you.
When we come back, we will be at Alexander Stadium for football. With us now is head football coach Bill Neese, and Coach, here we are on Media Day. A lot of excitement yet again for another exciting year for the Indians. Won't talk much about last year because that's in the past. Had a lot of seniors, though, and a team that was very successful. This year looks like we've got another core group of seniors and another successful season on the brink.
I think our senior class this year has been outstanding since the time they've been in junior high, and they give us a really good depth out on the perimeter, a really good depth in the offensive line, and our linebacking core. We've got 4 guys back that were all league, so I think that's really been strength. Of our program this year is that perimeter game with our receivers. We'll have a solid run game with our offensive line, and then the linebacking core. Coming back with all the experience they have, a lot of guys that were from the track team, et cetera, et cetera. We got a lot of speed back there. They can do a lot of things.
The group that we've got coming back, as you mentioned, a lot of success with all conference and awards of that nature. You're coming off of back-to-back MVL championships, a deep playoff run last year. We talk a lot, and we will as the year goes in, the coach or so, about the goals, and just it's one game at a time. But expectations-wise for you, what's the expectations that you have for this team?
I think the expectations are that wherever we start, and we had a great off season, by the way, but wherever we start, we want to continue to get better, and we will on a weekly basis. You know, every time you play a game, you're going to get better one way, or even if you don't win the game, you're still going to be successful in terms of understanding what you have to do better. So I think that the goal is to get better on a weekly basis, but one of the biggest things we talked about this year is we want to try to sneak in some practice time. You know, and not just get good at practicing and just trying not to stay hurt, but really being competitive in our practices and trying to get a little bit better during the week rather than just those 10 shots in the regular season. So we're trying to steal some extra time and, you know, trying to get ourselves better. You know, we always say that when an opponent comes in, they're going to help us get better. Well, we need our first offense to help our first defense get better, and our first defense to help our first offense and be a lot more competitive at practice. We started that last year, a little bit the year before. We changed around everything we did at practices, and I think we need to just embrace that, and we have so far. That's our culture and mentality that we do now, and hopefully this group will continue on with it.
No doubt. I have no doubt that will happen. You talked about the offseason. I'd like to talk a little bit more about that. Just in that you said you had a great offseason, and offseason just isn't in our August 1 to now. It starts in January. Talk a little bit about the offseason, what the gains you really like seeing as a team.
We had a ton of guys get in there and just get better, not just going through the motions, but getting better, you know, gaining weight, gaining good weight. You know, one of the big things is you get in there and you develop a discipline that you're with your teammates, which is an important thing, and I think your teammates help get you better. But also it's a discipline that you got to come in and you're on our time. You know, you don't come in and say, well, I'm going to work out here later on tonight, or I'm going to work on here, you know, on my own or something like that. But rather you're in here with your teammates and you make a sacrifice. You make the sacrifice that it's our time. And during this period, this is what we're going to do to get better. And they've done an excellent job in the weight room. And then as the year wears on and it gets a little warmer, and we start splitting a little bit more time in weight room and outside, getting into our speed program and all the various, you know, things that we do with our speed and agility. And then summer, it goes full tilt, almost 60-40 the other way, with the speed and agility being our most important thing. And in the weight room, you know, we're getting in there and we're still maintaining a lot of things that we're doing. So we've gone from the flip here to the flip there, and now we're in a great spot that we're still in the weight room. We still got our speed improvement, but the number one thing now is to focus on football.
Well, as we get into football and we are going through our scrimmages, last week we had a 4-way scrimmage up at Lima. Tonight we have a scrimmage foundation game with Northmont. What's our mindset as we're going into the Northmont scrimmage tonight as we prep for week 1 with Belmont?
Well, Northmont is very similar to us in terms of the X's and O's. So we've, again, had a great week of just going ones versus ones quite a bit. Last week was an interesting week because we had, a wing T team, we had a option team, we had an even front defense, we had an odd front defense. So we kind of were able to look at a little bit the day before, get an idea of what we wanted to do. But there was a lot of good type decision making and coaching that we had to do right on the field. And it was great. It was the best thing about it is we had to make a lot of decisions, but that was a scrimmage where we were on the field. So it was kind of easier to communicate than it is when you're on the sideline and you got a screaming crowd. So I think it was a great learning experience for it. I really enjoyed it. I mean, I'll tell you the truth, Bowling Green was presenting us with an offense that we haven't seen before, but we're going to see later on. And so we asked them to go ahead and double the amount of plays they ran us. So we stayed on the field and did extra work with them, and they were more than happy to do it. So it was a good game. It was a good day.
Well, for us, we get ready to go into week 1 next Friday with Belmont. We'll talk more about that later. But just Onslaught as a league, we go into defending the MVL title. We've got 9 games again. Just asking you from your perspective, because I think people like to know these things. Are you good with We play a 9-game schedule. Typically, you play a 7 or a 6-game schedule. We're at 9. How's that been for us the last couple of years?
I don't mind it. I don't mind it because you know, I know in the past we've always struggled a little bit with filling some of those games, and we don't have that traditional first game. We don't have a traditional second game, and we've kind of been around. The bad thing is sometimes you get a chance, you know, to get out and maybe play a Brother Rice, maybe play some other teams that we hadn't had an opportunity to play before, and you know, some other schools and stuff. But for me, for right now, what we're doing, you know, just coming back from, you know, all the stuff that we've had to deal with, I think this is good just to have the consistency right now and maintain that. You know, I mean, 2 years ago we were going on a Friday night, not sure if we were going to have a game.
Yep.
And on a Thursday night, me and you are on the phone trying to find a game for Friday the next day. Now, if it's locked in, I'm more than favor of it. I'm all right with it.
Well, Coach, we certainly wish you well, and we'll certainly see you at the Coaches Show as we get through the year. And I know it'll be a year of a good mojo for the Indians.
It should be. Thank you.
Yeah. We'll be back. We're going to talk to Bryson and Sam Spiesing when we come back. With us now are our senior guys. I'm going to have them introduce them and the positions that they play.
I'm Bryson Roberts. I play strong safety or running back.
I'm Sam Spiesing. I play a middle linebacker and running back.
Guys, Sam, I'm going to hand it to you and let you answer the first question. We're coming off of obviously a successful season, but this is your senior year now. This is your group that you get to lead. What's been different for you thus far, not just in practices, but in the off-season starting in January?
Yeah, I think the biggest part was getting the younger guys here. I mean, they struggle at times to get here, like lifting, and then once we got on the field, just being more consistent. I mean, good reps all the time. Some reps were questionable, but then as we got further in the summer, we're getting good reps.
But they're getting better as they come along.
Yeah. So we're growing. Yeah.
Bryson, for you, what are some of the things that you've noticed about our team in just the off season and as we get prepped for this, as we get ready for kickoff for the regular season?
Just making sure that now this year we're the ones always being watched because we're the seniors, so we have to make sure that every rep we do is our best rep and we're giving our max effort, so then the younger guys that are here and showing up, that they actually have to see what we're doing for them to be able to give us their best effort.
For you guys, what are some of your goals and expectations for you as a team this year?
I think we go undefeated again. I think that's an expectation. I think that's our goal every year. I think just like last year, running the playoffs too, I think that's just the goal. That should be the goal every year. We shouldn't accept less or anything but that.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's more the expectation now. I mean, going undefeated is definitely a possibility we can do it, and then making a run in the playoffs. I mean, getting some revenge. I mean, a little bit of bad taste in the mouth the way it ended, so I think trying to get back there.
Yeah, you know, I think you come off a year like you did last year. You certainly were able to enjoy a lot of success, but as you mentioned, you know, at the end of the season, you know, it was a good run, but maybe didn't end the way we wanted to. Of course, losing to the state champs there was no shame to that, but you always aspire to want to be better. If you were to look at our schedule, what are some of the games that really, I know each one of them is important, and maybe that's the answer. Is there any game or games that you guys look forward to being a part of?
I think obviously the obvious one is Troy. They got a new offense, so that'll be a good test for us. And then Xenia. I think a lot of people don't know much about Xenia and their potential to be good, but I think they're going to be one of the better teams we play. So,
yeah, you're right. Yeah, Bryce.
I have the exact same teams. I think Troy's always got to be the main one that you look forward to playing every year, and then Xenia again. They were a young team last year, so they're going to have players that come back. They're going to be smarter, better, and it's just a physical game when we play them, and that's the type of football that we like.
So we're really lucky in Piqua to have a game where we have a rivalry with a team like Troy, where it's known as one of the best, and it's the most played rivalry in the state, and it's around the country. It's noted. So for you guys, it's probably special to me. I can see why you circled that one on your calendars. I am going to ask this question because it's a little strange, because you guys are going to be 3 games into your season before we even step foot in the school building and hear a bell ring. How's that for you guys? Do you like that, where you can? It just seems like you're practicing, and then what's, you know, your Fridays Coach typically brings you in early and goes through walkthroughs. You guys like that versus being in school?
Yeah, I like it. It's definitely different. You know, when you're at school, you get to wake up, you wear the jersey to school, you see everybody there at school, and you have more like a kind of like a routine. But when we don't have school, we just come here, go through a walkthrough, we watch some film, we get something to eat as a team, and then I just like that kind of part of a more of a bonding experience when we don't have school. We're more together as a team instead of being over there at school. So I enjoy it.
Good.
I enjoyed on the fact that, I mean, that's all we're worried about. I mean, you don't have homework to go home to, and then you can just focus on that week, the opponent, and then that's pretty much it.
Good stuff. Hey, this is a fun question I'm going to have. I've asked some of our seniors today, so you guys are fun guys and are think outside your box. So here you go. Name your favorite binge show you like to watch on your own.
I'll have to say Breaking Bad.
Oh, Breaking Bad. That's a new one.
I'd have to say last year's senior, Tanner, he got me onto this show, Trailer Park Boys, and I just love watching it. I love watching it. That's probably the show that I watch.
Well, let's just thank you, Tanner, for helping you out with that. Yeah. Well, hey, guys, good luck this year. We're certainly looking forward to seeing you guys develop. It'll be a great year for you. Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll be back. We have got... I've been doing this all. Can you give me your best? Now you guys are fun. Can you give me your best cheerleading stuff? We're going to transition to cheerleading. Can you give me a good cheerleading transition? Yeah, like Spirit Fingers or. Yeah. All right. We'll be back with cheerleading when we come back. With us now is our head varsity cheerleading coach, Morgan Moore. Morgan, here we are again.
Yeah.
6th year, correct?
Yeah.
It's hard to believe.
Yeah.
It just seems like, what, a couple years ago you were cheering out here yourself?
It does not feel like a couple years ago.
So Morgan is a former, we talked about this before, Morgan, you're a former cheerleader for Piqua, but also coming back and coaching. Before we get into the nuts and bolts of this year, what's that been like for you now? You're 6 years deep into the coaching piece and knowing you're a cheerleader. What's that connection like for you and for your kids, being able to translate that message to your kids?
I think I'm able to give them just a better standpoint of like what it is to be Piqua culture, and kind of bringing back the bigger things that meant a lot to me in high school, and trying to show them that, you know, a memory is current and not something for future to look back and say, oh, I used to love doing those things. Hey, we are doing those things right now, and just showing them they're making memories now as they do it. But then truly like just getting the emphasis of what it means to be a fan in the stand watching them during a pep song, like just to hear that music, how they feel in the stands, and relaying that to the girls and what their faces should tell and the story that they should be telling while doing it.
Hear the first 10 notes on that fight song and the hair on your eye, it gets you fired up, doesn't it?
Yes, so some of them actually, my favorite thing used to be to do the bell, and I had 2 girls tell me they just can't wait for season to start to be able to ring that bell, and I thought that was so special.
Well, you talk about things bringing back. One of the things that has been a huge piece since you've been a cheerleading coach has been the sheets that are along Indian Trail, and our girls have now become, that's part of their culture and what they're doing, and it gets the student body and even our community into it, and even has gotten into some of our opponents into it where they like to steal the sheets, which is a whole nother show in itself. But to talk about the sheets piece, that's got to been fun for you to kind of see that come back and really become relevant again into the Piqua Indian Nation.
Yeah, so really we did the sheets, and then the biggest thing in high school was we always did the like common areas and all of those signs and everything, but instead of doing just at the school, because a lot of them don't go to school all day like we did, so we're like, hey, let's do this where it's like showcased on the trail, and it just kind of has escalated, and it's a lot of fun to try and get a little risky with them, pop them in there and see if anybody notices them. We like to have fun with it.
Yeah, I think I've mentioned a couple of ones that I found to be they're a little cutting edge, not quite over the line, but yet just a little close, just to make people catch their attention. Let's just say.
Yeah, we did a special tribute and shout out to Trombley this year, so
we'll look forward to that one. Let's talk about the team. We've said this before in the previous shows that everyone thinks of cheerleading as sideline cheer, and while that certainly is a big part of what the people see in the stands, the other part of it is the competition side. We have become not just good, we've become very competitive in these cheer competitions where last year we've been finished as one of the better teams in the MVL, actually qualified for state last year and brought home a trophy from that competition. So we are, in our division, one of the better teams in the state because of your leadership, but also because you got girls buying into it.
Yeah.
And I know it's like any other team, you have your highs and your lows, but from your standpoint of a competition side, what has that been like for you to now coach not just a sideline, but the competition, the competitive side of it?
Yeah, it's really gotten the girls to challenge themselves a lot more physically, where it's not so much of a physical aspect on the sideline, but during competition is 100% a physical sport, and just challenging them to get new skills. They really feed into each other. So we have a lot of people that have now been with our program all 6 years that Stacey and I have been together, and I think it's really just been a culture that we've been growing, and so we're finally seeing those good things of it. So we're really excited for this year. We're hoping to win MVL. That's our goal. So we're going to speak it into existence.
Well, I have no doubt that we will be again in the line of winning and being competitive on the competitive side, because you don't like to lose. A lot of people don't know how competitive you are, but people don't think of cheerleading as competitive, but you are very competitive and you don't like to lose. Is that correct?
I do not like to lose.
Well, Coach, thanks for talking with us today. We certainly wish you guys a great year, not just leading the energy that you're going to bring in. By the way, let's announce it. We're going to have our Torch the Trojans Pep Rally. It's going to be on that Thursday, right before the Troy game. I know that's a big week for our girls. They enjoy that week, Troy week. Yep. But when our football team does well, it builds a lot of excitement for our cheerleaders, and we hope to have yet another successful season.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Coach, good luck.
Thank you.
We're going to come back with a couple girls. They're going to give us little insights of what it's like to be a Piqua cheerleader and maybe just a couple other things. Stay right there. We are now with our cheerleaders. They're going to introduce their name and the class that they are in.
My name's Brooklyn Black and I'm a junior.
My name's Alyssa Brock and I'm a senior.
Alyssa, this is your question. Here we go.
Okay.
Cheerleading's exciting. Mm-hmm. Why did you want to be a cheerleader?
I love making people smile and hyping up the crowd, and it's just always been something that I think is really fun.
Good. Brooklyn, what's your reasons for getting into cheer?
I just love Piqua football. I like being on the sideline right next to them.
Well, cheerleading, we talked to Coach Moore, is so much more than just being a sideline cheerleader.
Yeah.
It's competition too, the competitive cheer start. What do you guys like about that part of it? Because we've been pretty good lately.
I like the effort. I like the adrenaline you get. I like having to put the work in and then you see how well you do and all of it in the end. I like how I don't know, it just turns out great.
Good stuff.
I like the performance part of it. I think that's just something that's been really fun this whole time, and I like seeing us get better every single time we perform again. It's always really fun.
Yeah, and I know you guys have high hopes this year, and I know good things are going to happen for the Indians.
Yep.
Okay, so now this one should be I think I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask anyway. What's the favorite part of the football season?
Troy Week.
Troy Week. Why is Troy Week so fun?
We got the big rivalry, the road rallies, you just get the biggest student section. It's back and forth all the time.
They're into it.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Now here's a question that you didn't know was going to come, so you're really going to have to. It's going to.
All right. Okay.
But we've asked most seniors today, so here we go. Here's your question. What show do you like to binge watch the most?
Probably Criminal Minds.
Criminal Minds. That's another one. Yeah. We've gotten today.
Or the Vampire Diaries.
Oh yeah, Vampire Diaries.
Oh, Vampire Diaries. That's another popular one. Yeah, we're helping her out, aren't you? Well, ladies, we wish you luck this year in giving all kinds of energy to our crowd, but we also wish you well in competition.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. This is going to wrap up the fall sports part of our day. It's been an outstanding time to meet our coaches and all of our different student athletes. It's going to be a great year. Again, you can catch all the action here on Indian Nation Station. You can catch it on Channel 5, but you also can catch our schedules on the Piqua City Schools website, click Athletics, and all our schools, our schedules will be on there. It would be so appropriate to finish the show with those 3 important words, right, ladies? So on the count of 3, we're going to say it loud and proud. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. We are Piqua!